right. Hello, first grade friends. It's Mrs. Davis here with our writing lesson for today. So I know some of you have been working along with Miss Davis working on a fairy tale story this week. So today my goal in my writing time is to add some storytelling phrases like once upon a time, and of course when I get to the end of my story, and they lived happily ever after. I also want to work on adding some dialogue in my story today. So as you recall, Miss Davis has been working on her fairy tale. I generated or came up with ideas using my roll of fairy tale, using the dice to help me, and the different ideas for who could be in my story, where my setting might be, and what the problem might be. So Miss Davis has her ideas that I've planned out on my story map to help me. I keep this out as I'm writing because I want to make sure that I'm getting all of these important elements in my story. I've already planned out my problem and solution. And then yesterday I worked on my touch and tell and making my sketches. So that also helped me plan out my story. So today I'm going to work on adding some dialogue as I'm writing, and of course including my storytelling phrases. So I'm going to just bring that phrase over here to remind me how I want my fairy tale story to begin, with the words once upon a time. That will be the beginning of my story. Once upon a time. Sounds just like a fairy tale already, doesn't it? So now for the beginning of my story, this is where I'm introducing my character. Remember, I have a magical unicorn, and I figured out my problem is that she is being very rude, this unicorn, to the other animals of the forest. So I'm going to say, once upon a time, there was a beautiful unicorn. Who lived, here's where I'm going to introduce my setting. Who lived in an enchanted forest. That means this is a nice magical place, right? Once upon a time, there was a beautiful unicorn who lived in an enchanted forest. End of my thought. That's where I'll put my period. All right, so remember, I want to include some dialogue in my story today. So thinking about my character of the unicorn, she's going to be rude to these other creatures. So I'm going to see, how rude I want my unicorn to be. She's going to call these other animals gross, icky, and ugly. Using my speech bubble for that. All right. And while she's saying all these not nice things to the other creatures, she's also going to be bragging. I was inspired by the hare and the tortoise and the hare today, how he was bragging and boasting. So let's see. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful unicorn who lived in an enchanted forest. She was so beautiful. But also very rude. tell you more about my character here. Let's see, I don't want to say ran. How about pranced? She pranced through the forest, bragging about how pretty she looked. All right, remember, good writers reread their writing. So, once upon a time, there was a beautiful unicorn who lived in an enchanted forest. She was so beautiful, but also very rude. She pranced through the forest, bragging about how pretty she looked. Oh, what is something she could say? Because I want to include some dialogue. So, oh, this is dialogue, so I'm going to put my quotation marks and the words that she says about herself. How about have you ever seen a more gorgeous creature? That's a question, right? Question mark. Have you ever seen a more gorgeous creature? She would ask the other animals. But before they could even answer, she shrieked, "Ew!" Stretch that one out. Ew! What a gross, icky, ugly. Since she's yelling, I'm going to add exclamation mark. All right, let's reread here. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful unicorn who lived in an enchanted forest. She was so beautiful, but also very rude. She pranced through the forest, bragging about how pretty she looked. Have you ever seen a more gorgeous creature? She would ask the other animals. But before they could even answer, she shrieked, "Ew! What a gross, icky, ugly animal!" She looked down at the frog and snail on the forest floor. She looked up. At a small gray owl sitting in the tree. You are so boring and brown. Some more dialogue. She blurted. All right, friends, so I'm setting the story here, including my character, the unicorn, her dialogue that I've included, calling the other animals names, and including our setting and kind of starting to set the problem here. My problem of the unicorn being so rude to the other animals, bragging and boasting about how beautiful she is. So for tomorrow, I'm going to keep on working, and then I will share my writing with you all tomorrow and set a new goal for myself. But for you all today, remember to begin writing your piece if you have not yet with your planning that you've worked on so hard. Begin adding storytelling phrases and work on including some dialogue in your writing today. All right, friends, have a wonderful time writing your fairy tales. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.